as my heart drops and my back begins to tingle finally. Could this be it all? Should I give up or should I just keep chasing pavements even if it leads away?
Welcome back. We are here with Adele. Thank you so much for lending us your time.
Oh, thank you.
We love music on the show, and we don't do this often, although I think we should do it more when we finally do find an artist that we love and believe in so much, where we just devote kind of this whole half hour here in the middle of the night.
It's amazing. Thank you very much.
To you. We've done this before. We did it for David Bowie,
I know.
Elton John, Dave Matthews,
Alicia
Keys.
Yeah.
And Chumbawamba, which didn't work out that well. But we are glad to. Your record it has this, it's called 19. You were 19 when you recorded it. But when I listen to it, it evokes so much soul and so much from some past. I don't know if that was just a musical influence that you had when you were young.
Kind of varies, really.
If you're really sort of summoning something from the 50s.
Yeah, well, vocally, like, I'm in love with Etta James. Like,
James?
Yeah, she's, like, by far my favourite. And I got into her quite late, like, when I was about 14 or 15, like, considering that, you know, I wrote the record when I was 19. Before that, it was the Spice Girls and Britney.
Really?
Yeah, and Backstreet Boys and, like, a British band called Take That and E17 and stuff like that. So it wasn't really until, like, I was a proper teenager that I actually kind of got
Well, you got smart. You got smart.
Yeah, and sophisticated. Yeah, totally. And I, like, stumbled across her complete by accident. Like, I loved, like, her, like, white bleach blonde weave on her head and her big catty eyes, like, and her figure and her history. I just thought that she looked incredible, so I bought the record just because I kind of wanted the hair. And then I was...
Were you singing at that point?
Yeah, but, like, I was pretending to be, like, a bit of a grunger as well at that point. Like, I was wearing, like, dog collars and, like, wearing Slipknot jumpers.
Yeah,
like...
well, we all did that.
Really, I don't Slipknot,
no, we all do
Slipknot
that.
terrify me. Like, the masks, they scare me. I don't know why I was wearing their stuff. Like, anyway. But yeah, no, I was kind of singing, yeah. Like, I was already at the Brit School, which is where I studied music.
Yeah.
But again, like, I was just singing Destiny's Child songs and stuff like that. Like, kind of, like, I think they're incredible as well. They're by far my favourite girl group. But never had heard of her before that.
Yeah, kind of a nice mix, I guess, having an influence of understanding and enjoying a good pop song because of the music and the hooks and the way it makes you feel. Yet going back into history and going to the legitimacy and the life and the writing and the soulfulness of an Etta James. That's sort of a nice thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's wicked. She's the only artist that I believe. You know, like when
Have you met Etta James?
No, like she was sitting like 7 rows in front of me at Fashion Rocks at the Radio City in New York.
Yeah.
But I was too frightened.
Because I feel like a lot of young songstresses cite Etta James and the like as their influence, yet they fall short vocally, whereas you don't.
Oh, thank you very much.
You really don't. I mean, you really don't.
Thank you very much.
Your record, this is interesting, and I want you to just tell us a little bit about kind of the background, because I think there's a lot of young people out there. And now with the internet, you don't really need the access that you once needed. You don't really need the record company connection because of technology, and you're living proof of that. This record came out in the UK in January of '08.
Yeah.
It came out here later in July, but prior to it coming out in the UK, you got the British Award.
Yeah.
Which was an unprecedented award to win. But what were you doing? How were you trying to make it? Where was your music? Was it MySpace?
Yeah, always MySpace. Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah, it really works. Like part of my course at the Brit School in music was to like learn how to record yourself and do demos, and I never ever expected to be like kind of at the front of it and be the kind of, you know, the one kind of at the front, in front of people. But my friend Lyndon was like, you can really sing, and at the time, like, it was like American Idol and X Factor and Pop Idol, and like your friends and parents, them contestants, they lie and they say that like they're the next Whitney and they're not, and it's the most embarrassing thing ever.
That's what we've been saying for years.
So I just didn't believe. I used to give him my demos, and at the time he was like Mr. MySpace UK. It was when like not even just the normal networking ones were big, you know, let alone the music. And he put it up there, and I had like loads of like kind of response from it. And when we put Hometown Glory up, it was like the first song I wrote, was when I got all the emails from record companies. And it was like after Arctic Monkeys and Lily Allen got huge on the internet, like, you know, really kind of do it yourself.
And who from XL called?
A guy called Nick Huggett, who like was quite a big deal. Like he is, yeah. And he signed Dizzy Rascal and MIA and stuff like that. And I just thought he was like some weirdo on the internet, just like emailing me. So I'd never heard of XL, so I just thought it was like you know, a bit of a perv or something. But then my friend was like, "Oh yeah, XL, they signed the Prodigy."
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah.
But I never knew that. I didn't know anyone in the industry, you know. Yeah, and me and my friend went along, and he thought I was already signed, and then hooked me up with my manager, and
What a great story, you know, because there are the TV shows, there's The Idol, there's this, and it seems like everybody out there who's looking for good music ultimately is looking for what we call filtration.
Yeah.
They're looking for somebody to step up to the plate and go, all right, everybody, I know you don't have a lot of time, but I've sifted through all the
Yeah.
and it's terrible. And here's the best 5 things I've found.
Yeah,
you know, we try and do that in a small way here in the late night show. You know, Idol does that in a large way, but by and large, that may or may not work out.
Yeah.
But you really are just such a great story, I think, that it worked out well for you.
Yeah, very lucky.
You also came over here at a time when it seemed like a female singer-songwriter invasion.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Lily Allen and Leona Lewis, and Amy Winehouse has already had some success over here. How do you break through that mix?
Well, I think on the first record it's a little bit difficult to, because, you know, most of us, apart from Amy and now Lily, like, we're on our first records, we're all inevitably going to get compared to each other. But I think just kind of, I think our live shows are all very different. I think we all represent very different things. I think, like, as people we're very different, and as, like, kind of women, you can, like, look at all of us and we represent every single kind of woman, you know? Like, I don't know, just hope for the best. I don't think about their careers, I think about mine. Like,
yeah, well, that's a good idea.
I mean, yeah.
But you know what?
I don't really get caught up with it, I don't know.
Adele, for us, and for the show here and why we wanted to do tonight and just really try and, you know, promote you because we like you, is that you seem to have all of the talent, all of the good things, the story. We're rooting for you, minus some of the baggage, if you will, with all due respect to Amy and to Lily, who may or may not be having, you know, some serious personal things in their lives. But it's tabloidy, it's just, it's extra.
Yeah.
How do you avoid having that stuff?
Well,
I mean, do you not go out? Do you not drink? Do you...
I don't drink anymore and I don't go out anymore.
Well, that's probably what it takes,
But before,
right?
like, I'd be in the papers every day in England, but here, I think it's because I'm brand new, no one really cares about my private life, and luckily now that I kind of really got my foot in the door here, like with SNL and the Grammys, I'm not drinking anywhere, I don't act like an idiot anymore.
Right, I think that's the key, is to just not act like an idiot,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Was SNL, you were on SNL, if I'm not mistaken, when Governor Sarah Palin was on, which was, if I'm not also mistaken, the highest rated SNL maybe of the year, and you were the music.
In 15 years.
Was that, I guess, your tipping point for the States?
Yeah, I reckon. It was so surreal that night. Like, I'm Obama all the way, yeah, but Sarah Palin was like the most famous woman in the world, and she was like 2 dressing rooms away from me.
Did you meet her?
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to meet her. No, I didn't want to meet her, and then she, like, I couldn't really avoid her when she came to say goodbye to me. Like, but you know what? No, she was really nice. Like, she was just saying hello and said that she liked my record, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, she wasn't kind of talking about like education or like abortion with me, so it was fine. Like, you know, it's fine.
She just said, great record, you betcha.
She's so small.
She is, right? She's tiny.
She's tiny.
Well, most people are, I think.
Very glamorous, though.
Very, very sexy.
Very glamorous.
Very sexy.
Yeah, very, very.
Won't have the glamourang of 2012, probably not. Where, so okay, so the MySpace, the signing in the UK, you come over here, the record, the Grammys, nominated for 4 Grammys, incredible. Congratulations. Where were you when you heard about that news?
I was at home at my apartment in London with my mum, and I was leaving for LA the next night, and my mum always stays with me the day before I go away because I'm not going to see her, and I'm a real mummy's girl. And I'd kind of forgotten about the announcements because it was like I got told that we had a shot, but it was a really long shot, and not to get my hopes up. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. So I was watching Blood Diamond, I think, like Leonardo DiCaprio, who I love. And then I thought, I'm the biggest Leona Lewis fan, so I was like, I wonder how many Grammy nominations she's going to get, because I thought she'd just wipe the board. And so I started Googling and couldn't get anything, and then I got an email from Perez Hilton saying that I'd been nominated for Best New Artist. So I locked myself in the toilet and cried for like an hour and left my phone in the sitting room.
It said English in the toilet. That's just the whole connection.
Well, no, it's because it's like the only private room if I went anywhere else.
English in the toilet. There's an infatuation.
Yeah, because people think that you're going for a wee or something, so they don't disturb you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so yeah, I went in there. My mum was running around like I live in an apartment in a big house. My mum was running around trying to knock on everyone's doors at like 4 a.m. to tell them that I'd been nominated for a Grammy. And by that time, we didn't know that I'd been nominated for 4. And by the time 4 came, I was just on my knees. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it.
That's incredible. I love this story. We only have about a minute here, then you're going to sing again. What is that? You're going to come here, I understand, to the States for the recording of the next record?
Yes, Malibu.
In Malibu?
Yes.
Right over there?
Right over there.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Why am I asked Malibu?
Because the producer that I want to work with is based there, and Malibu's was really peaceful. I really liked it.
And do you have a good sort of network of friends here in the States?
No, and that's why I mean, in New York, I do. A lot of my British friends live in New York as well, because they're, like, really cool and they move to New York and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I know the nonsense.
But in LA and California, no, I don't, which I think is good. If I go home, I'm going to get really distracted and just, like, go off and not write any music and not record, whereas if I'm here, I'm going to be well lonely.
But Adele, when you wrote this record, 19, you were in such a different space in your life, and so much has happened in such a short amount of time, and now you'll be recording. When you sit down to write, what sorts of things will you be writing about?
Well, I've got like 6 new songs, and I'm kind of running out of ideas now. Like, I was seeing this boy in the summer, so the new songs are about him, but I'm kind of dried out now. It just wasn't great. Like, I'm not being as pathetic as I am on that record. On that record, I'm like, love me, love me. Whereas on the new record, I'm just gonna be like, leave me alone. Like, I don't like you. Leave me alone. So yeah, so it's kind of about that. So
I don't need you.
Yeah.
We look forward to it. All right, we'll take a break, and thank you for chatting with us. So appreciate it. So important. We'll be right back. Adele's gonna play another song for us from 19. We'll be right back right after this with Adele.